Hello, I'm Admiral McFish, and this is a tutorial on how to hack and play as Galactus in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Specifically the PC port. There is a way to do it on the regular console ports, but that's an entirely different method involving hex editing. You'll need to search for that one yourself. This is just for people using the Steam version, essentially. You will need 4 things for this. You're going to need the game open via Steam. You will need a hacking program such as ArtMoney or Cheat Engine. Using ArtMoney, I do recommend it. It's a bit more user-friendly. Make sure when you open it to have the game open and then to select it via this Select Process drop-down box here. You'll also need the character values for this game, but don't worry too much about that. I'll provide them in the description. You're also going to need one more thing, which is a fix which prevents the game from crashing when you're playing as Galactus regularly in arcade mode. This was provided to me by my friend Demon Scorp, also known as Natsuken, so a huge thanks to him for that. Basically, once you have it, you'll find a file, and you just need to, once you extract it, I'll have it in the description as well. Once you extract it, just dump it in the local files section, and it will basically overwrite a few things, allow it to overwrite a few things, and it will then make sure that Galactus runs properly otherwise. Right, so initially we're just going to go into training mode. And then let's go with Akuma initially. Right, so this is the same sort of standard method that goes basically for most games. It's just searching initially for a value related to a character. So Akuma is 3, so we will search for 3. And then basically all we're going to do is pick different characters, then we're going to filter for their value, and slowly we will work down or work out what the character address is. And via that we'll be able to then put in Galactus's value, freeze that in place, and force the game to load Galactus to allow us to play as him. So next we'll go for Viewtiful Joe. Right, so Joe's value is 6, so we will now filter. We always filter after we search initially. So we filter for value 6. Do that a couple of times, just helps narrow it down a bit more. Don't have to, but it just helps out, I think. And then go back to the character selection screen. And yeah, it's basically just doing this over and over again until you narrow down the address. Or addresses, sometimes. Let's go for Dante. Cool, and Dante is value 7, as you can see here, so we will filter for 7. Right, we're getting pretty close, actually. Do it just once more, see if I can narrow it down a little bit more. Let's go for Chun Li this time. Right, Chun Li is value 2, so we will filter for 2. Might just do it once more, so if I can narrow it down a little bit more, but I suspect that those are all the values we will have to deal with. Let's go with Frank West, if I can find him. Yeah. Nope, that's Chris. A lot of Capcom characters look a bit samey, I have to say. Right, and Frank is value 9, so we will filter for 9. Yeah, let's narrow it down a little bit more. Do just one more go, I think. Pick Chris this time. It helps to narrow it down as much as you can do, basically, because otherwise you'll have a lot of values that kind of say the same thing, that seem to be the addresses, but it's only one or two that actually affect everything else, basically. So a lot of things affect loading the character, but there's only a few like main ones that actually control it. Especially in 3D games, just because it affects a lot of different things, like the moveset, the model, etc., etc. So those are all four. Okay. So presumably those all affect some part of the character. So they're all character addresses in their own right, but only some of them will be like the core character addresses that affect everything else. When you have anything that's sort of above 5, I recommend... okay, that's interesting. Given that these are the lowest values, I think I will try using these ones first. So Galactus is value 51. So let's type 51 into these three, because they're so much lower than all of these. And we will then freeze that into place. You can freeze either by clicking here, or you can right-click and then click here to freeze into place. So we'll test these two out initially, see if they have any effect. I think they might have done. Yep, there we go. He is very bulky to use, and yeah, he's ridiculously slow, but he does work, basically. He's appearing on the left side as well. I remember him appearing on the right side, but it seems to be a little bit random here and there how it actually works. But yeah, that's it, as you can see, that loaded Galactus for you to use. There is, of course, Galactus mode in the game as well, but the benefit of this is that you can play through arcade mode in a regular sense, see all those kind of fun glitches, and it's a little more, I guess, official in that way. The Galactus mode always felt like a bit of a cop-out to me personally, so I quite like this method. You can, don't forget, do this with the other character slots as well. So if you do the method I did, but you search for the second or third character slots instead, you will be able to narrow down those as well. So you can, quite literally if you want, have a team of all 3 characters, so there are a lot of people who would do this method and then have like 3 Dantes in line, or if you want to be a complete and total dick, you can hack it and then do 3 Galactuses in one team. It's up to you. As I say with these sorts of ones, please don't abuse it online. If you do like 1 or 2 matches just to kind of have a bit of fun, that's fine, but please don't ruin it for the rest of us, because that can cause companies to interfere with programming, change it around, and make it so that it doesn't work. It's unfortunately quite common nowadays. So, as always, please, yeah, don't go overboard with it when this sort of stuff. Be very reasonable, and yeah, just don't ruin it for everyone else, essentially. That is basically it. As I said, yeah, you can do the exact same method for the other character slots, and it will work the exact same way. Any issues, anything like that, please do let me know. As I said, when you're doing this, just look for the 2 values that aren't the sort of astronomically high ones. The ones that sort of default to 0 will be the 2 ones that you need to put the value of 51 into and then freeze in place. This one didn't seem to do anything, but these 2 did. Do that and it should load for you just fine. But yeah, any issues, any queries, please do let me know. And as always, thank you very much for watching.